What's up, gang? Thursday night football. We got probably not that great of a game, Seahawks versus Bears, but I do have some plays for you guys to lock in for this game. Real quick, just to do a recap before we get into it. Having a pretty good year so far. Pretty pleased with how things are going. Up over 33 units on the year, up over 19% ROI on the year. It's been a couple videos since I last saw you guys. We had Monday? Not so great Monday Night Football. Wednesday, Christmas went pretty well. The season results you see on the screen here include everything. Everything's been updated, so pretty happy with the results, but we can get into the game. It's holidays. Not everybody has a ton of time. We're going to go with DJ Moore over 5.5 receptions, -108 at FanDuel for our first play. Normally, I come on this channel, I talk about fading recent results and positive regression and all that stuff. Admittedly, that's not what we are doing with DJ Moore. I'm still comfortable riding with it, but we are absolutely not fading recent results at all. He's actually cashed this in 6 straight games. So again, not fading recent results, but DJ Moore gets such consistent target share on screens, on stuff around the line of scrimmage, these designed targets that have a high catch rate. So it's easy, in my opinion, to rely on him to continue to get these types of targets and for him to catch them as well. And just to go through the numbers, I mean, his last 6 games, here are his reception numbers: 7, 7, 8, 6, 8, and 7. So we're go over under 5.5, right? So he only needs to get to 6 to hit the over for us. He's had 7 or more in 5 of his last 6 games, and he still had 6 in the one that he didn't have 7. So he's going over this 5.5 number by a ton. It's can be very scary to rely on a pass catcher for the Bears because of Caleb Williams looks broken, but that's where we're going with the receptions. And to put some numbers behind what I'm talking about with these design targets and stuff. So since week 11, which is when this ascent started for DJ Moore, also when they fired their old offensive coordinator and promoted a new one, which is obviously an important line in the sand to draw, DJ Moore leads the NFL in designed targets. And designed target literally just means it's a pass play designed to go to that specific player. So it's not a first read target, which is just the first read in a progression. It's literally a play call designed to target this receiver, which is a screen pass, stuff like that, which is what I'm kind of been talking about. And again, DJ Moore leads the NFL in designed targets since week 11. He's got 20. The next closest receiver is Puka Nacua, who has 14. So he's by far and away the leader in designed targets. He's got a designed target rate of 35%. It's just a crazy number of these design plays going to DJ Moore. And then as far as the matchup goes, this is less so a play targeting a juicy matchup. The Seahawks are not a pass funnel type of team that we generally like to target receiving props against, but they're not a bad matchup. They're not a scary matchup either. I think they're top 10 in terms of receptions allowed to wide receivers. I think actually number 10 in terms of receptions allowed to wide receivers. But there are some matchup advantages that DJ Moore gets in this one. He mostly lines up on the left of the formation, like the left side of the field. That's the biggest matchup advantage that you have going up against the Seahawks. They have 2 really good cornerbacks. Their left cornerback is the weakest spot in their secondary by far. And to give you guys context for that, 6th worst DVOA in the NFL, literally guarding the left receiver in the NFL. So DJ Moore definitely catching 6 balls tonight. That's play number 1. Play number 2, obviously in the same game, we're going player on the Seahawks, Zack Shant, 70-plus rushing yards, +115 odds at Bet365. So with Ken Walker out for this game, the pivot is to Zack Shant. Just an absolute dream matchup against a terrible Bears run defense. We've targeted the Bears run defense multiple weeks in a row now. It's come through for us every single time. We've been targeting them with ladder plays. So we take mainline plays, we ladder them up to juicy odds. The ladder plays have cashed against the Bears run defense. It was Aaron Jones and Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I'm not saying that Zack Shant and the Seahawks running offense is as good as the Lions or the Vikings, but I do know that Zack Shant can get to 70-plus rushing yards. And what I love about situations like this where the starter is out and the backup goes in, he's going to get all the work. Like sometimes when the starter and the backup are both healthy, the team will try to split carries between the two of them. That's not going to happen when the starter and Ken Walker is hurt. So that's kind of even more a reason to like the workload that Charbonnet is going to get. And to look at the matchup here, I mean, the Bears, 2nd worst rush defense in the NFL in terms of yards per game allowed at 117 on the entire season. They've just gotten worse as the season has gone on. Since week 8, they're still the 2nd worst run defense in terms of yards allowed per game, but their yards allowed per game have gone up to 132. So 117 on the season, 132 since week 8, and a lot of their advanced metrics paint them in a horrible light as well. 4th worst stuff rate in the NFL. They allow the 3rd highest adjusted yards before contact in the NFL as well. 7 of the last 8 running backs against the Bears have hit their rushing prop over. The only one that missed was Vikings backup running back Cam Akers, who had 24 rushing yards, and his over-under was 24.5. So starters, backups, all alike are going off against this Bears run defense. And as I mentioned, Charbonnet should get the majority of the work with Ken Walker out. He's played 4 games this year without Ken Walker, and he's only gone over this number in 2 of those 4, but he's averaging over 15 carries per game. And that number, the rush attempts number, is being brought down a little bit by a game against the Packers 2 weeks ago where they only had 8 attempts, but they were down basically by 3 scores early in that game. So they just completely abandoned the run. That's not going to happen tonight against the Bears. Definitely not. So I like for him to get the 70-plus rushing yards as our second and final pick for this game. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.